Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome to another edition of Freedom Friday. We are live, we are back in the studio again, and my computer wants to do updates. Okay, let me get that being off because that being would drove me crazy. Good morning, guys. We are back in the studio again. We're back here for Freedom Friday, another edition of Freedom Friday. We're here. And we're not just here, we're here on Good Friday. We're here for good trouble on a Friday morning. Man, I tell you, I've missed the last couple of Fridays I've been traveling, but nevertheless, God is still faithful. So you all know the drill. I need for you to like, share. I need for you to jump on in and tag some people, tell them to come on and jump on Freedom Friday because we're live this morning. I am getting ready to tag a couple of people myself right now. So come on in and join us. I believe this morning is going to be simply amazing because I believe that this morning God has a word for us. And I am going to give you what I feel that God is really saying to us this morning. And I believe that this Good Friday is nothing going to be something short of amazing. Why? Because this is the day that he died. But before we get to the death of the tomb, I don't want to take for granted that many of you know the 7 last words. I don't want to take for granted that many of you know what Jesus' last words were. We have a lot of Good Friday services, and a lot of people don't tune in. You may have read it. You may have even engaged in it before. But what I want to remind you just simply this morning, today is the final countdown. Put it in the chat. Today is the final countdown. Dr. E, to what? The final countdown that led to the death on today. And I want to preface this by saying Jesus is the true rock star. Not because of who he is, because of what he did. So today we're not just going to just talk about just any last words. These are the final words of Jesus that he said on the cross for you and for I. So the first word says, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. Y'all, he was praying for enemies while he was being crucified. Who does that? So he flipped the script. He wasn't just a Roman soldier. He was a Roman soldier that was at the foot of the cross. He had 2 thieves on the side of him. He was praying for them who were going to kill him. So he said, Father, forgive them. For they really don't know what they're doing right now. They really don't. So God, forgive them. Number 2, he says, truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. Jesus could have been silent at this moment and not said anything and said, too late, your grace done ran out. But he was dying, but he had hope for the criminals beside him, that they would be in paradise with him. And if there's hope for the criminals on the side of him, there's hope for you and I. There's redemption. It's never too late. The third word, he said, woman, behold your son, and son, behold your mother. This one hits a little different, even on the cross, because Jesus was creating community. Family isn't about bloodlines. Listen to this. It's about love. He was weaving together a new type of family, a kingdom of kinship. We're going to follow him. We've got to start seeing each other as connected as family, not as bloodline, but we're responsible for our brother and for our sister. We're responsible for create a community of like-minded people that we can hold each other accountable. Because he said, woman, behold your son, and son, behold your mother. The fourth word, he said, my God, why have thou forsaken me? Or why have you forsaken me? That cry was not a weak cry. It was a divine echoing of pain for humanity. If you've ever asked God, why are you, or where are you? Jesus gets it. Faith isn't always neat. Sometimes it's messy. It's raw and it's real. And that's still holy. He said, God, you have completely forgot about me in this process. God, where are you? I need for you to show up in my situation. Beloved, can I give you a little word of encouragement? He is always there. You may not feel him. You may not always sense him, but he is always there. The fifth word, he said, I thirst. He was dehydrated. But there was something bigger than him thirsting. He was identifying with all of our hunger and all of our thirsts. Our need for justice. Our need for healing. Our need for equality. Our need for peace. He was thirsty and hungry because he realized that one day, as we are up against a wall today, that we are going to be thirsty for justice and peace. So the cross speaks to every dry place in our lives. And it is to you and I see you and I feel you. I feel your pain. I see you in the midst of your situation. And God's identifying with your thirst and with your hunger. The sixth word, it is finished. This right here was not just a whisper. It was a cry for victory. Jesus didn't just say, I'm finished. He said, it is. The debt is paid. The work is done. That means your guilt, your shame, your sin, your struggle doesn't get the final word. Listen to this. He does. And it is finished. Don't allow your situation to dictate the final word over your final situation. Remember, in the midst of your situation, he said, it is finished. Whatever your it is, it doesn't dictate the final word of your situation. God does. And the seventh word, he says, Father, into your hands, I commit my spirit. The final surrender. After all the pain, Jesus gave it all to God. That's not weakness, that's power. That's trust. That's the kind of surrender that leads to the resurrection. What do you need to let go of today? What would it look like if you placed it all in God's hands? Jesus wasn't just dying, y'all. Listen, he was declaring the last words wasn't his final defeat. They were the blueprint of his liberation. A final countdown that led to his forever uprising. So now, as you heard it, what are you going to do with it? These last words were forever the words of Jesus. But what are your last words today? Our last words today should be, Father, we commit everything we have before you, and we leave it at the foot of the cross. Because today I can't handle it, but you can. I don't know how I'm going to see my way out of this situation, God, but you do. I don't know how I'm going to make it because I got laid off. God, you do. I don't know how I'm going to be able to maneuver past this hurt and rejection. God, you know how to help me over it. So today, Father, I commit my situation, my spirit man, into your hands. Because with me, I can't do it. But with you, I know you can do all things. And you do all things well and in your own timing. So today, as you go about your day, just remember his last words. His first word was, Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The second word was, truly I say to you, today you will be with me in paradise. And the third word was, woman, behold your son, and son, behold your mother. Fourth word, my God, why hast thou forsaken me. The fifth word was, I thirst. And the sixth word was, it is finished. And the final word was, Father, into your hands I commit my spirit. Hold on to his word today and let God complete the work that he finished in your life. Today is going to be a day of remembrance, but today was the day he died. And I remember that you and I have to die to something. What will you die to today? What will you give up today? Just a thought. So as we go through the weekend and we remember God and we remember his death, his burial, and his resurrection, because he got up. He didn't stay in the grave, but he got up. Remember, you have the same power to get up in your situation. But if you can't do it, God can. And I leave you with that. No matter what you're going through, remember, God can do all things. He will not fail, and he will not leave you without a witness. Remember, God can. No one's told you today. Let me be the first to tell you I love you, and there's absolutely nothing you can do about it. Live life and live life on purpose. Have an amazing Friday. But whatever you do, remember, today is a day that God did it all for you and for I. Have an amazing day. I'll see you next Friday.